Now in this video we have a special guest showing up. It's kind of an unexpected arrival on the Chevy farm here, and stay tuned for that because you'll enjoy it. Well, I've been doing some more work to the S-10 and got interrupted. A special guest showed up. I'll have some more of that coming up here in a little bit of the special guest that showed up tonight. But anyways, I managed to get the passenger seat bolted in for good. Got the gauges mounted. Oil pressure and temperature. The oil pressure is hooked up outside to the engine block. You can see that line right there. Shed a little light on it. Anytime I poke a hole through firewall, I like to run like these lines through a piece of rubber hose so it doesn't rub on the firewall and cut it in half. I know that from experience that it'll cut it in half. We did the same thing with the temperature gauge. Ran through a piece of 3/8 fuel hose. I can't hook that up until I get the headers on though, so I was in the process of putting the driver's seat in when the special guest showed up. Now I should be able to put the seat in, bolt it down for good. Tighten the console down for good. You take this cover back off. I want to grease up the shifter mechanism and put the cover on there. I should be done with that. Should be pretty much done inside except for heater controls, which I can't seem to find. This has an optional C41 heater in it that is just heater and defrost. It has no vents in it. What else? Oh, I need to tape these wires up, and I got a wire up here that needs to be taped up. So I'll get to doing that here real quick. Shifter cable hooked up to the transmission. Run through the floor there. A lot of times when I run something through like a hole or firewall, I'll stick a piece of hose over. That's a piece of 3/8 fuel hose so it doesn't cut into the cable. Here's the finished product of the shifter arm. Now the brackets mounted, I had to angle this bracket back at an angle to get the correct throw on there so the cable wasn't going up and down and trying to kink it. I'll show some pictures of what I made this out of and how I did this. That's an actual solid spacer now. In the picture you'll see what I had in there before to get it roughly fit to the transmission. Working on the S-10 a little bit more here. And kind of had to change the plan on the brakes here. I was at the junkyard the other day, and there was an S-10 Blazer in there that had calipers on it that had been replaced, and I don't think they're that old. And he had real nice brake shoes on them, so I took the calipers and the brake shoes. Decided to use them instead of the 300,000 mile calipers that were on it, which were getting wore down in here from all the stopping, I guess, and the brake pads going back and forth. Started eating grooves into the caliper down in there. These ones look good. Of course, I did it on both sides. So hopefully those will work out real good. Been working on the S-10 again, and this time I've been tackling the wire loom. Basically the engine wire loom that comes out right there. The only part of it that isn't the engine wire loom is the windshield wipers. I got rid of all the BS computer wires that ran over there, and then we hooked into the fuse box and made the wire loom like huge. And I just got the basics, small wire loom, which I have HEI wire. And then it runs over here. Goes across top of the valve cover, and I have the alternator wires. This here is factory, kind of a junction block. One wire goes to the starter and one goes into the loom. The starter wires are hooked up also. Now I should be good to go on the wire loom. It's a nice basic simple wire loom, about like a 55 Chevy would have. Instead of the god-awful mess that this thing originally came with 8 billion wires in it. Here's a bunch of the crap out of the wire loom. Got a whole bunch more of it back here on the floor that I did away with. Here's all the computer BS wiring. And the computer itself. So I lost 10 pounds of worthless wiring there. Another thing too is my rollover valve showed up, so I stuck that on. The bad part about that, it gets that loop up pretty high, but you can obviously see it from the back even when you get a tailgate on it. I have a topper I'm thinking about sticking on it. What else? Did a whole lot else to it besides stuff that's not that interesting. Got this passenger door mounted, but I need to come in here and get rid of that tray and probably get rid of the armrest because it won't let the door shut. That's as far as it'll go. Worst part about this was snaking the wires in the cab that come out of the door, like this side has, for all the power windows and power locks and all the other fancy stuff it has. Power mirrors also, I guess. Getting about ready to install the driver's door. I did get my sun tack mounted. Needs a little cleaning. That was compliments of the junkyard too. Got it all hooked up underneath here, all the wires. See, the gauges are in. Can't think of anything else I need to do, but not at the moment anyways. To get the wire ran outside here for the tack. I would have liked to have found a green wire, but I don't have any green wire. So I decided to use yellow. Better to color coordinate some of that stuff instead of just using all one color. Could have just used a bunch of red wire or black wire, but then you don't know where anything goes. I guess that wire's in the loom too. That's for the windshield washer, squirters, or whatever you want to call them. I need to put those looms in, but not ready for those yet. They're in a pile over here. Just the headlight and the tail light loom. Other than that, getting a little bit further on it. Hopefully I can have it running here pretty quick. I'd like to take it racing before the end of the year. Running out of time. I think there's only a month left. Got four races left. Well, it was going to be 5, but they canceled this week.